Hey YouTube, this is Primetime Pokemon, and I'm going to start a new series today talking about how to play the Pokemon trading card game. In today's video, I'm going to start out by showing you how to read a card, everything about a card, and then hopefully as my series progresses, I'll talk about Pokepowers and Pokebodies, game setup, special conditions, trainer cards, supporter cards, stadium cards, the Lost Zone, discard pile, and then hopefully culminating with an actual battle. I just have to figure out what the best way to have the camera would be. But I can start talking about how to read a card. I'll start at the top and then work my way down. So as you can see on this card, the Pokemon name is on the top, so this is a Weezing card. And then the level, which some cards have the levels on them, some cards don't. It doesn't affect the gameplay at all. It's just something fun to have on there. And then next is the HP. So this is hit points of 80. That means once Weezing gets 80 or 8 damage counters on him in play, it'll be knocked out, and then the opponent can get a prize card. And then the type of the Pokemon is indicated right here. This is a Psychic type Pokemon. So as you can see, the whole card is in purple color, indicating that type. Moving down a little bit, you can see that Weezing is a Stage 1 Pokemon card. So it says Stage 1 and then evolves from Coughing, and it shows a picture of Coughing. So in order to play this card, you have to have Coughing out for one turn, and then you have to wait till the next turn to evolve Coughing into Weezing. So you just put Weezing on top of Coughing. Now I have a couple other cards that I can show you. Blastoise here is a Stage 2 Pokemon card, so you'd have to have a Squirtle, which is a basic Pokemon, and then the next turn put a Wartortle out, and then the next turn would put this Blastoise card on that, and it says Stage 2 there, evolves from Wartortle. And then I can show you a basic Pokemon card. It just says basic right there and no picture of what it evolves from because it doesn't evolve from anything, and you can just put this card out and play right away. So there's a basic Pokemon. Now moving down on this card even more, there's always a Pokemon picture, as you can see here, and then right underneath it, it says number 110, so this is basically the Pokedex information. And then a Poison Gas Pokemon, height 3 feet 11 inches, weight 20.9 pounds. So some additional information. Doesn't have anything to do with gameplay or anything. Now moving down even farther, there's a Pokebody here. I'll have a video on Pokebodies and Pokepowers later. Now a Pokebody is indicated in green. And then as I showed you, this Blastoise card has a Pokepower, which is indicated in a reddish-orange color. And those two things are always the first thing underneath the picture if they have a Pokepower or a Pokebody. And then moving down farther, we have moves. Now some cards don't have, well, some cards don't do any damage, but usually all cards have moves. Now right here, this is the energy cost for the move. This move costs 1 colorless energy card. Now what that means is that in gameplay you have to attach any energy you want, because that's what colorless means, any type of energy. So you could use a fire energy, grass energy, psychic energy, and attach it to Coughing, to Weezing, and then you'd be able to do damage breakdown, and you just read below to see what the move does. Now this particular move doesn't have any set damage amount, but if you read the actual description of the move, it does some damage. The next move would be Smog, and this move takes 1 psychic energy card, and then this is the damage that it does. 20 is over here, and then you always have to read the description under it to see if there's anything else that the move does. Now there are some moves that require multiple energies, like this Blastoise card. This move takes 4 energy cards, so more than likely you can only attach 1 energy card from your hand to the Pokemon per turn, so only 1 that way. You can use other trainer cards and supporter cards and other Pokepowers, Pokebodies to be able to attach more than 1 energy card to a Pokemon per turn, but you only can attach 1 from your hand to a Pokemon per turn. So moving down a little farther, in this white box here it says who it's illustrated by, so the illustrator of the picture of the Pokemon up here. Now all cards are formatted a little differently, but they usually include all of this stuff, and mostly in the same format. Some are just slight differences. And now moving to the bottom of the card, weakness, it says what its weakness is, so psychic energy again, and it says plus 20 damage. So what a weakness means is that if you're facing a psychic type Pokemon card and it attacks you, any damage it does to Weezing does 20 damage more. That's what a weakness means. Now, Weezing doesn't have a resistance type. I can try to find a card that does. The Blastoise doesn't, but I'll show you a Steelix card that I have out here that actually has a resistance this time of -20 to a Psychic Pokemon. That means that if a Psychic Pokemon attacks Steelix, it does 20 less damage every turn. So if you're only facing a basic Pokemon that does a 20 damage move and it's Psychic, it basically can't affect this Steelix card. Now, the next move, or the next thing to look at, is a retreat cost. As you can see, this requires 2 colorless energies. Now, what a retreat cost means is that when you have Weezing as your active Pokemon, that means you're attacking with this Pokemon, and you want to switch this Pokemon with a card on your bench. You have to discard 2 colorless energy cards attached to Weezing to your discard pile before you can move this card back to the bench. Now, retreat costs vary. It's always colorless energy cards that are the retreat costs, but like Steelix right here has 4 colorless energy cards to retreat, which is quite a bit. So depending on what evolution stage the card is and their HP and how many energies it costs to attack it varies. That makes how many retreat costs it has. So how many energy card retreat costs it has. So there's some that have free retreat costs, and then there's some that have 4. Also, there are cards out there that make certain types of Pokemon have free retreat costs, and there's Pokebodies out there that do the same. So you just have to look for that kind of stuff. And then finally, the last thing on the card, well, there's 2 things on the card. On this card, it says Pokemon Nintendo, this is the year it was made. And then if you look over at the corner, I did indicate in another video how to tell if a card is rare or not, but it says 87 of 111. That means that this is the 87th card in this set, and there's 111 cards total in the set. And then that black circle means that this card's a common. I can show you real quick, I guess, the difference. Common is a circle, and if you look on this one, a diamond is an uncommon, and then the rares, which is Blastoise is, as you can see down here, there you go. That is a rare card, it's a star. And then if you look right here, this way down in the right corner is a set symbol. This indicates what set it's from. I actually have a page on my blog, I think up to Arceus, which is a little behind now, but it shows all the set symbols. So you can tell right there what set it's from. So like this card's a different set, as you can see. Now, a good place to look for cards, like scans of each card, would be Pokebeach.com as well as Pokeorder.com. They both have all the scans of all the cards. You can look and see what cards are in each set. Now, I do get questions sometimes, like here's a Porygon promo card. Now, if you look down here, it just says promo, and then there's not really a number on the card. Other promos like that, if it doesn't have a certain symbol and doesn't have a number like these cards do, it's more than likely from a promo set or just a promo card. So I hope this helped you out understanding how to read a Pokemon card. Stay tuned for the next video in this series of how to play the Pokemon trading card game. I'm going to be talking about Pokepowers and Pokebodies. So thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.